Hi, Sarah Pacaro, Rapid Transformational Therapist, here to share with you today 9 truths about the narcissist that they will never tell you. Yes, there is some truth to them. Imagine that, because generally it's lies on lies on lies, but there are some truths about them. So I hope you enjoyed this video that talks about the 9 truths about narcissists. You will notice that narcissists dwell in an alternate reality. They are not here, they are not present, they are not focused, they are not with you, they are not vulnerable. It does take all those things to be fully present and living in this space, in this reality, but they live in an alternate reality. Their reality is about winning, about feeling superior, about being the center of attention, about all of those things, instead of most likely what your reality is: feeling empathetic, feeling equal, balanced, feeling compassion, love, forgiveness, generosity, all those things. So you can see the difference between your reality and their reality. And most narcissists are profoundly, deeply insecure, tiny, fragile egos, and the entire facade, the mask about the narcissist, is to protect that deeply wounded, fragile ego, to avoid being ridiculed, to avoid being made fun of, to avoid feeling not good enough. All those thoughts and feelings that they feel that they want to avoid feeling. That is the entire facade and mask of a narcissist. They disguise these deep insecurities with manipulation, triangulation, gaslighting, hoovering, many forms and sources of supply, and distraction. The word salad, you notice you can't even have a conversation with them because they're constantly distracting, diverting, devaluing, discarding, leaving you questioning, wondering, and confused. What is going on? That is a perfect tactic to manipulation, because then you think it must be me. There's something wrong with me. And that leads to that trauma response, whether you fight back verbally or physically, or you freeze, or you have that trauma response of running. The flight trauma response, or the one that most people are impacted with, is fawning. That sense that there's something wrong with you, so you need to change who you are to make them stop, make them change, make them better, make them see how amazing they are. Because naturally, because you are compassionate, empathetic, caring, loving, forgiving, you see all those things within everyone else. But it doesn't matter to them. They don't go, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you saw that in me. I'm going to become what you think I am. It doesn't work that way, because the last thing that a narcissist will do is ever be vulnerable, open, or transparent about their motives. And their motives are always to win, to manipulate, and control. That's it. Everything that they do is to win, manipulate, or control. If narcissists were to be completely honest about how they approach life, they would have to admit these following truths. So the first one is, the truth is whatever I say in the moment. So I will change it whenever it suits me. I don't need to be consistent. When I speak, I act 100% certain that I know what I'm saying. That is why oftentimes we are drawn to a narcissist, because they just seem so powerful, so confident, so self-assured. And oftentimes, if you're a person with a narcissist, a codependent, or an empath, or just someone who's naturally caring and forgiving, you know your faults and you're willing to admit them, and you are not as confident as they appear or seem to be, and so you're drawn to this. Wow, look how amazing. It's amazing how often I convince people that I'm right, and that I'm absolutely certain. So the truth is, if they were to admit the truth, that is the truth, is that whatever I say is in the moment is a lie. The second one is, I love taking credit, but I have no interest in taking responsibility. That is the truth about the narcissist. And that is truth number 2. I love taking credit, but I have no interest in taking responsibility. If they were to sit here and tell you the truth, that would be one of them. I'd never apologize or admit when I'm wrong, because then I would appear weak. That is the truth about them. And if you've been with one, or been around one, or raised by one, you know that that is the truth, and you see it, and it's so frustrating. And that is one of the things that gets you to stay around, because you want them to admit that they were wrong. You want them to speak the truth, and you find evidence to the truth, and you present it to them. You put it in their face, and they're like, what is that? No, that's not what happened. What are you doing? Look at you. And then the gaslighting and the manipulation when you presented them the truth. So truth number 3 is, I am largely unaware of how my actions affect others. If you've been with a narcissist, you have wondered, oh my God, don't they see what they're doing? Don't they know how bad they're hurting me? Don't they feel bad for this? If I just show them how bad they're hurting me, they'll know and they'll feel bad. Truth be told, they don't care. They do not care at all. If I get what I want, then all else is just collateral damage. That is the truth about them. They are largely unaware of how their actions affect others, because when you have an experience like that with a narcissist, it feels like you got ran over, hit, sideswiped, T-boned by a Mack truck, by a big, gigantic semi. And you're that little tiny Kia that just got crushed by that truck. And that truck keeps on driving as if wasn't even a bump in the road, and you're sitting there completely and utterly, totally destroyed on the side of the road because of that truth, that they are largely unaware of how their actions affect others, and they just keep on going. They don't stop. They don't go, oh my gosh, are you okay? I'm sorry. And they don't look back. It is nothing to them, and that is the truth about them, and they don't care. The fourth truth about them, if they were to openly and honestly admit, is that they have a bottomless hunger for attention and respect. Whatever you do to them will never be enough, ever. And I remember in most of my past significant relationships, that was the underlying feeling that I had. I am never enough. Like, nothing I can do makes you happy. I try to change, and I do change, and I do what you say if I did, things would get better, and it's still the freaking same. Nothing is ever enough. They have a bottomless hunger for attention and respect, and you think, when is it ever going to be enough? When are we ever going to be good? When are we ever going to be happy? And this future that they're faking and painting for you, you think, wow, maybe someday. That someday will never come, because it's like pouring into a cup, and that cup has no bottom. It's been taken out. So you're just pouring through a tunnel, basically. It's not filling up that cup. It's coming out the bottom. And however long I can keep you trying to fill that cup for me, the better. So you'll notice that is the truth. Number 4, they have a bottomless hunger for attention and respect. Number 5, I consider people disposable. If they were to sit here and admit the truth right now, that would be the truth. I consider people disposable. How messed up is that? That they consider people disposable, like objects they can just use and throw away, like this marker. And the second it stops writing black, in the trash. Done. I'm done with it. Go get a new one. You're like a Sharpie marker to them. How sad is that? Because you are considered disposable to them. That would be the truth. They can be secretive, they can be deceptive, they can undermine you, they can withdraw for no reason. If you ever leave me, if this marker ever stops working, I'll dispose you, and I'll just go get another one, and I will never look back. I'm not going to dig back in the trash and look for that Sharpie marker again. Why do I need to do that? I've got another one. If you've ever been discarded by a narcissist, you know this feeling. How could they do that to me? How could they leave me, my kids, my family, 2 weeks later, a week later, be moved in with another family, taking in someone else's kids, and they act like mine with them don't even matter. And your mind is trying to wrap your brain around that and figure it out. Well, know that truth about them. They consider people disposable. Sad but true. The 6th truth about them is that they seek status, not equality. They want to be up here and everyone else be down here. They don't want a win-win situation. They want a win-lose situation. And to do that, they seek status, power, control. They're not out there saying, hey, let's have an equal rights movement. No, they're having a me rights movement. They are not seeking equality, victory, or fairness in anything. They view most people as threats. They view you as a threat. If you are in a relationship with them, even if it's your mother or your father, they view you as a threat. How sick is that? But it's true. And they view you as a sucker, someone to use. They consider people to always be below them. If they were to sit here and say the truth, they would say, I consider very few people to be my equal, and winning is everything to me. I feel slighted, and I will. You better bet your butt that I will attack you for being unfair. However, I have no intention of being fair with you. So that is the truth. If I were a narcissist and I were sitting here admitting, opening up to you, that would be the truth, is that I feel slighted. I will attack you for any little thing, even something that you are being fair about that I deem to be unfair. I have no intention of playing fair with you. And you'll feel that. That's why it's constant fighting, constant belittling, constant manipulation, constant lies, constant second guessing. Because they're never playing fair, and you're like, come on, can't we just talk about this? Can't we just compromise? Can't we just figure this out, please? If not for us, then for the kids. Kids are the same to them. They don't care. All these truths, they apply to everyone in their life, even their children. The seventh truth is image is all important. Image is everything. Appearances matter to me more than substance. How everyone thinks about me, how I look, and whatever it is in my status, I will do whatever it takes to look good. And if that's at your expense, well, that's too damn bad. That's the very truth about them. And if I were the narcissist sitting here admitting to you, that would be what I would say. I'm not, thankfully. I have been with them, and that is sadly the truth about them. The eighth truth about them, I feel entitled to do whatever I want. So entitled to do whatever I want. Normal rules and limitations, what are those? Normal? I'm not normal. I'm superior. Normal rules and limitations, they don't apply to me. That is why they are unafraid of authority, and they just seem like nothing. You can call and you can get a restraining order. You can get a protective order. You can get all kinds of orders against them, and they don't care. They don't think it applies to them. Anything goes if it makes me feel good about myself, and the most thing that I love to do that makes me feel good about myself is watching you cringe, watching you squirm, watching you squiggle when I go like that. When I say something, when I do something, they love it. And you know what I'm talking about. They get that evil look in their eyes. Image is all important. And then they sit there with this image of, what? Look at you. You're pathetic. You're weak. You're ridiculous. You're crazy. I didn't do anything. I'm the one. You look at you. Look at all the stuff you're doing to me. And this image that they are the ones being perpetrated, that they are the victims. They feel entitled to do whatever they want because normal rules and limitations don't apply to them. And the last truth, if I were the narcissist, or the narcissists were sitting here admitting their truth about them, is that I am mortally afraid, like deathly afraid of feeling humiliated. That little tortured, traumatized child inside of them is deathly afraid of being humiliated. And if you've done any kind of research on narcissism, you know that, not always, but it comes from childhood trauma. The people who are with them experience childhood trauma. Trauma bond. Get it? That narcissist is so deathly afraid of being humiliated, of being laughed at, of being the butt of jokes, of being the negative center of attention. They cannot stand being seen as flawed, inferior, weak, a loser, and if you are the one involved in making them feel like that, you will pay. You will pay. There will be hell to pay. You will pay dearly if you do anything that makes them feel that way. Those are the truths about narcissists. And yes, you can have compassion for them. Many people say, well, gosh, I just feel so bad. I feel so bad, it must be miserable to live your life like that. Yeah, it is. I look at the ones in my past and I just say, man, like, sending you love because you need it. But it is not my responsibility, my emotional responsibility, to try to heal their wounds. And if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, even if you're out and you're still struggling, you still feel like you are bleeding because you got crushed by that Mack truck in your little Kia, you don't know what to do. The relationship is over. Maybe you have to counter-parent with them. There is no such thing as co-parenting. And you just don't know what to do. Inside, you're still emotionally open, wounded, and bleeding because of these truths about the narcissist and because of these experiences that you have had with them. It does not mean that you should allow them to take advantage of you, which is exactly what they will do. Recognizing these truths about them, recognizing their motives, their modalities can help you gain perspective to protect yourself. And I want to share this cool little image with you. Say this is your brain, okay? all of these little pink things on the bottom are past experiences, feelings, emotions, sensations, thoughts, because we are emotional beings, spiritual beings, and our brain takes in everything, all of our senses, sights, sounds, smells, touches, feelings, everything, all the time. And it gets filed away, kind of like Google, like your computer. You know, you create a document, you have an experience, the experience is document, you create it, you file it away. 30, 40 years later, especially if you're raised in a toxic environment and you had emotional needs that went unmet, you got that filed away, stored, shoved, pushed down deep inside of you. And those are like these little file systems down here. Every time you have an experience that causes trauma, an experience with a narcissist where you feel belittled, manipulated, gaslighted, all those things where you feel put down, where you feel like you are not good enough, your brain opens, fires off, and all those thoughts and experiences open up and are triggered. You wonder why, like, you can go from being like totally fine and having a good day to like raging and exploding. That's because your brain opens up, fires up, and it connects to all those thoughts, past feelings, and experiences that had you feel anxious, stressed, scared. That fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mechanism in your brain goes because your brain's job is to protect you and keep you safe. So when these truths about narcissists, you have an experience with them that aligns with those, your brain inside goes and it feels like scrambled eggs, and you're wondering, what is wrong with me? What is going on? I don't understand. That's because everything inside of your brain feels like this. And then it takes a while for things to settle down, calm down, go back to normal. But that takes time. And a lot of times in a relationship with a narcissist, you're not given that time to process and settle down, because boom, they come at you again, and then they come at you again, and then they come at you again, and then again, and again, and again. So your brain is constantly like this, constantly firing off. It never has the opportunity to settle down and calm down. So yes, narcissism and PTSD, best friends, so closely interlocked and related. And that's why you'll notice you have those same experiences. You develop, panic attacks, anxiety attacks, like stress. Maybe you're on medication for it, because your brain never has that chance to settle down and return to a normal state. I don't know what that is. I think this thing lights up. But you get what I'm saying. So anyway, I hope that these 9 truths about the narcissist help you understand why it feels the way it feels when you're with them. And the journey into healing is to remove all that crap from your brain. You can never remove the experiences. I'm not saying that. You can't go and like, what's that called? Will Smith, the movie, the alien movie. You know what I'm talking about, where he goes and he forgets everything. You can't do that. That's not the way your mind works. But what you can do is take away the emotional impact that experience had. You can't ever go back and erase any experience. But if it was an experience that left you feeling unworthy, unloved, not good enough, that whatever it is that you wanted would never be available to you, you can go back in your mind. It's a really cool part of the mind and the way it works. Thank you, Men in Black. You can go back to that experience and remove the negative, limiting beliefs and emotions from that experience, so that when you look back on that experience, you just go, whatever, no longer impacts me. So that is a really cool part about rapid transformational therapy, hypnotherapy, is you just simply go into your mind, and it's basically like what you do is you reorganize these. All of these that were labeled with fear, stress, anxiety, worry, not good enough, all those things, you take that label off and you take the emotion away and you file it into one that says, indifferent. You build up your indifference folder in your mind. You say, oh, yeah, those things are there. Click, drag, hold. I'm going to move them over here because I don't like the way that they were impacting my life before. And I can't go back and ever change anything, but I want a much happier, more peaceful, calm, confident life. That's what it takes. That's what you have to do. If you're interested in learning more, love to talk to you, love to connect with you. But those are the 9 truths about narcissists, and I hope that you guys found this video helpful and informative. And if you're interested in learning more about rapid transformational therapy, hypnotherapy, to fill out that indifferent folder, so when you have an experience, like if you still have to counter-parent with them or interact with them, not even maybe the ex, but a parent or a coworker, whoever it is, whoever that toxic and unhealthy person is in your life, then it's possible. I'm telling you, living proof. And I see some other people that I worked with on here that are living proof as well. So thank you guys. As always, I love you. Thank you for watching, supporting, and tuning in. And I feel honored to have you here and would love to connect with you if that's where you're at and you're ready or want to talk and learn about more. Thanks, guys.